Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you crypto lovers out there. Welcome to this special interview today. I am your host, Paul, conducting this interview on behalf of SQUIDGROW, Joe, and Krypton Calls. And today we have a very special guest, which is Matt from Burnswap. And we are going to be talking about every aspect of this crypto behemoth in waiting. So maybe, Matt, first of all, if you want to just give a brief overview of what Burnswap is.
Yeah, thanks, Paul, for having me on the show, man. I really appreciate the exposure. Again, I'm Matt from Burnswap. I'm one of the co-founders of Burnswap. And at its core, we're a layer 2 DEX. We're a solution on top of popular exchanges like PancakeSwap and Uniswap. And we add a special burn mechanism, which makes any crypto on these exchanges deflationary. So by simply using our swap, you can burn more tokens, which is great for, project owners and communities. That makes, tokens more deflationary and hopefully more valuable over time.
And I think before we kind of go into all of the details of the features, because you do have a lot of features, it's looking to be more of an all-in-one type of cryptocurrency. And so maybe just even touch on the supply, the initial kind of circulating supply, any details about basically the distribution, all that sort of stuff. You could touch on that, even the taxes.
Yes, for sure. So we do have our native token, the Burns token. The ecosystem kind of runs through the Burns token. With every swap, a portion of our Burns token is being bought and burned. So we come up with creative ways to try to make our own token deflationary. And it started off with a 300 billion supply. It does have a max supply of 2 trillion through our staking protocol. So there is an inflationary aspect to it, but we do things to make it deflationary, and it only mints tokens as a kind of like an as needed basis. So it's a very low tax token. There's a 1% tax on the token with every transaction. So that means whether you're trading it or buying, selling, or even transferring the token to another wallet or a friend. Then there's a 1% tax, and that tax goes to sending the tokens to the burn address. So that's one of the deflationary aspects just with trading the token. So very simple other than that, but it is used not only for to buy and sell through the swap, but we also have a bridge, and we also have a staking protocol that uses the Burns token.
Yeah. My partner Sean had you on for an AMA, I think just before your NFTs launched, and it was interesting as well that you did do an NFT launch. Obviously, they had a function, a utility, a purpose. But it was good to do a pre-sale with NFTs because I think, like Sean probably mentioned at the time, and which I assume you probably agree with too, is you end up doing a pre-sale and it gets a bit messy because you want to get some funds to get certain things going in the project, including marketing. But you did the NFTs anyway. Would you be able to talk to us about the NFTs themselves, what they do, and how they help you develop your project even further?
Yeah, for sure. So, a lot has happened since we had that first AMA. So at that time, we were in a kind of like a pre-launch phase, and we were looking to share our idea, with the community, and find a way, something that was a little bit different to be able to raise that seed capital. Because like you mentioned, you need some of these things to be able to go out and market and spread the word. But, when you're just getting started, it's kind of hard to do that if you don't have any capital. So, we came up with the ideas and, put everything, the information together. And we came across a pretty cool platform called Sidekick. I'll share it here briefly. This is Sidekick Finance. This is their Jumpstart program. It's very similar to like a Kickstarter. If anybody's ever heard of like Kickstarter, they're like a crowdfunding campaign, except you are crowdfunding with NFTs. So we created an NFT campaign. This is ours to the right, the Burnswap seed raise. And what this allowed us to do was to offer some NFTs that had special perks towards the system once it went live. One of which was particularly for the staking protocol, where it adds a boost to your stake, your APR, and gives you a boost. And this really did great. This is one of the top performing NFT campaigns on the Sidekick platform. The community really took behind it. We sold about, last I checked, it was about 550 NFTs out of 1,000.
Very nice.
Yes. So we sold them at 100 BUSD each. What's really cool is even though the campaign has ended, there are still 1,000 NFTs available. We sold 554 out of the 1,000. So people are still able to go and get these NFTs and apply them towards our staking protocol to get an extra boost. So that's really cool because people get that benefit, but we also still earn a little bit of revenue, which again helps with our marketing efforts. So this has been this has been a really cool campaign for us that that was a little bit different. Not too many people have seen doing like an NFT seed round raise. But that really did well because we didn't have to, provide like a certain discount off of the actual pre-sale for the tokens. That's something that I would say is kind of common. Usually with like a pre-sale, you might have a private raise and a public pre-sale. And usually, there may be a discount off of the launch price, and those people usually want to try to maybe take an early profit, and sometimes it can have a negative impact.
It definitely gets messy.
So
it gets messy.
We've
been there ourselves.
you know from experience then. So
absolutely, yeah.
This was a creative way to kind of mitigate that a little bit, kind of go around that.
It was great. It was great. Me, Sean, and Mike, we're actually going to be taking a bit of that advice from you and probably doing something similar ourselves in the future. And just talking about the staking itself, I'm looking at the kind of lowest and the highest it could be. And of course, when you get more people in staking, obviously the APR lowers. But so the range seems to be between 18.25 and 1,096%. I believe it's somewhere a bit over the 100% mark, which is very, very solid. And just touching back on the NFTs as well, it's 182.5% boost onto the APR.
Right.
Now, what's interesting with your staking, maybe you can go into more depth about it, is that once you set it up, you can't actually add more into it. You have to start a new one, do you?
Yes.
So
this is kind of like a ladder staking model, which some people have seen before. We took some inspiration from some other like projects that have been popular. Hex was a really popular one on Ethereum that a lot of people did well in, where they had like a ladder staking model. So we had some similarities there where you create a stake and you can stake it for a duration, your desired duration, anywhere from 7 to 500 days. And you earn a fixed APR on that stake based on the APR that's available at that time. And the APR is, based on the circulating supply that is staked. So we, at the start, we offered a high APR for those people who were staking early, that 1,096%. And it went by relatively quickly. So,
I can imagine.
That APR isn't available anymore. It actually got down to the lowest, 18.25%. And then a few people have already started to unstake. So I think, like you mentioned, we're around that 146% APR. We'll have to check here shortly. To refresh my memory.
That's really nice, though. That's still very, very nice.
Yes. So like you mentioned, it kind of gives you some type of like gamified aspect where you need to properly think about, how long do you want to stake? How much do you want to stake? Because, the rate could be there, it could be lower, it could be higher, by the time that next stake is available. So it kind of gives everybody, opportunity to come up with their own strategy on how they want to do the stakes. I've seen it to where, some people, they do like a 30-day stake, and then every day they stake a little bit more. So after 30 days, a new stake is unlocking for them each day. So they're kind of
Okay.
making
That
different.
that that's interesting tactic actually.
Yeah. So that's something I've seen with these type of ladder staking models. And it just varies depending on the person and their strategy. But there's a lot of different ways that you could go about it.
Yeah, yeah, that's really nice. And just in relation to the staking itself, you are staking the Burns tokens. So could you talk to me about there's a fee for when you do the staking when you take them out, and obviously there's a late fee too. So if you could go into a little bit of depth about that, that'd be really good.
For sure. So we did talk about earlier, making the token more deflationary. So you do stake the Burns token, and by staking the Burns token, you're actually burning it. So if you had 100 tokens that you were looking to stake, that is completely being taken out of supply, out of circulation, and then you're actually reaping the rewards. You get your initial back plus your interest on the back end. So it's kind of like a push and pull. You take some out, and then you get some out of the rewards pool.
Well, yeah,
So
yeah,
so there is a 5% entry and exit fee. So again, if you're staking 100 tokens, you'll get credit for 95, and then there's a 5% claim tax when you come out of it. Now, a lot of times people, sometimes they forget about these things, right? They might put a whopping stake, in, and they forget about it. And, a year from now, maybe the token is doing really well, and they say, "Oh, I think I got some tokens here," and they get it, and then they, sometimes they wreck the chart because they
yeah,
unstake such a crazy, amount. So what we did was we really want to encourage people to interact with it. So, what we did was we put something in place where after 14 days, if you don't claim your stake, they start to deteriorate by a small rate of 1% a week. So if you're not tending to your claimed stakes, then over time, which equates to about 2 years or so, if you don't actually claim, then that stake will deteriorate and send all those tokens to the burn address. So it's imperative that you get in, and when your stake is ended, go ahead and claim it, and then you get that standard 5% tax.
yeah. And I think it's also good to have something like that in place, because it does keep people active, because they know they have to be checking on things. When is my stake gonna, when's it gonna finish up? So it does bring more engagement as well from the community, that they do have to stay active with their investment. Like you said, people often invest in something and walk away from it, come back a year or two later, and then wonder what's going on, or maybe there's all sorts of things that can happen. But I think it's important when people invest that they have to stay actively engaged in it in some form, and this is definitely a way of doing it for Burns.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly right. So that was kind of the thought behind implementing something like that.
Yeah, I see you have a referral as well. Can you talk about the referrals? I believe it's for the staking.
Yeah, so we do have a referral system. It's pretty easy, pretty simple, straightforward. Basically, you can earn 3% in the Burns tokens by sharing your referral link. So if anybody uses your referral link to make a stake, you get 3% Burns tokens in your basically in your wallet. So that's a really good incentive. I think that some people sometimes overlook something that we wanted to give to the community, to help with more of organic reach, organic marketing. There's a lot of people like to, talk about what they're into and share their links, right? So that's a way that people can earn some additional Burns tokens by sharing their links with their friends and encouraging them to stake.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, and definitely if you're getting 3% from every person you refer, that will start to add up if you get very busy.
Yes, yeah, and we made it flexible in a way too, because sometimes people like on the flip side, the person who's getting referred, sometimes they might like to support different people, so it's kind of like a one-time thing per stake. So
Yeah.
if you see somebody and say, I really like Paul, and I want to give, support Paul, and I use his link. But then maybe you see Sean and he's doing some videos and you're like, Sean, he gave me some good information on this video. You want to use Sean's link for the next stake.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
has some flexibility in that regard. You're not necessarily tied just to one referral link. So that was something that we thought was kind of cool too.
Yeah, it's really nice, kind of almost done in like blocks in a way. Just one other thing, I've been in plenty of different projects where as an investor as well, and there has been things where sometimes staking goes on for a bit, and the kind of unstaking period can be quite a bit. It can take a while. Can you tell me about your say if a person needs to leave early, if they need to take all their stake out?
Yeah, so that was something we also implemented, was like you're referring to the emergency in stake.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something that we implemented, and we had to adjust it just a little bit because also people not necessarily cheating the system, but just taking advantage of what's in place. So we wanted to do it in a way where if you actually need it, if it's an emergency, you want to use it, but you want it to actually be an emergency. You don't want it just because like the price has appreciated a little bit and you're trying to get out and, and sell some of your stakes and you hit a certain point. So initially the way it worked is you make a stake, let's say for 100 days. At the halfway point, you would get your stake back, like your initial amount of tokens. You would get that back at the halfway point. And then after that, you would start to get the stake plus the interest. So what was happening was, a lot of people, they got to like that halfway point early and they wanted to get out really quickly. And so they would get to the halfway point and unstake and then sell some of the tokens. So we said, touche, that's, we set it up in that way, but we added an extra tax on it. So there's actually a 65% tax on it now. So if you were to get to that halfway point, you would get your initial tokens back. And then when you unstake, there's a 65% tax. Now, anything before the halfway point, you run the risk of actually losing most of, or if not all, your tokens. I did have somebody who, they made a mistake and they staked their tokens and they staked it for a longer period of time or something than they wanted to, and hit the emergency in stake on day one, and they lost all their tokens.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
So they're like,
moral of the story: when you're staking, try and plan it out a bit. How long do I want to actually stake this for? I'm not going to stake this for like the longest amount of period. If I'm thinking short to medium term, if you're thinking long term, you can hold on to it for a bit longer. You really got to think about these things before you just go off and do them. So yeah, a bit of advice for everyone really. Like if you're about to put your tokens into staking with anything, you got to read the rules. You got to understand how long they're in there, see the APR they're at. You can't just kind of blindly go in there, like a bull in the china shop, just wrecking the place up because you don't have a clue what you're doing. But yeah, that's pretty reasonable. So they kind of get 35% back if in that scenario, which is decent if it's an actual emergency,
Correct, and that's exactly right. So we put it in place for those emergency situations, but it's not something that you really want to, take advantage of. You want to, if you make a stake for a certain period of time, ideally you want to try to stick it out for that period of time. But versus some other projects and stuff like that where you oftentimes your capital may be locked in, even sometimes permanently, right? We gave them the option to have that emergency in stake. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. I think the next big thing, because you are so full of utilities, really from the get-go, you had everything going. We can almost talk about the swap and the bridge and all that sort of stuff in tandem. I know you have the DApp there, and it's looking pretty good. You've updated it recently.
Yeah, so we got a new look. So right now we're looking at like the I guess the style that we kind of opened up with. After we launched, we felt like that the UI needed to be a lot more competitive to rival what people are familiar with, like PancakeSwap and Uniswap. So we worked with the a pretty good designer who helped us establish our DApp. So we're going to enter the DApp now, which you can enter from the website. This is burnswap.finance. You can enter the DApp. We're actually still making some updates to the UI and the website. So the front end website may be changing here soon. But this is what the new UI looks like. We rolled this out. I guess it's been I think this is going on 2 weeks now. It's so hard, man. It feels like time is tripled in crypto.
Yeah, time moves differently in crypto. In DeFi, it moves very differently. You don't know what's happening.
It's hard. It's crazy to think that we just launched this. It's almost the 30th or 31st of May, and we launched on the 8th. Feels like it's been a few months, man.
Man.
But this is the new swap. I think it looks really nice, really clean. And basically, again, I mentioned earlier, any token that's available on PancakeSwap or Uniswap, for instance, is available here on the swap. A lot of tokens you can search and look for. We had like an API with CoinGecko. So a lot of the tokens that are on CoinGecko, you can find straight away through the search.
Oh, great, yeah.
But if you can't find the token, then you can also, paste in the contract address to be able to find it. So I can kind of briefly show what that looks like. We have a few tokens here that are popular in our community. The Burnswap token, of course, is ours. We actually released a meme coin called Value Coin. That's been pretty cool. We've been marketing it in the Burnswap Telegram. This was something that we put out to kind of showcase our swap when we got the new UI. Drip token is popular, and then we actually partner with another cool project, Speakeasy, that came out with a drinks token. So these are some of the featured tokens that we have on the swap. But you can type in anything. I know we got SQUIDGROW Joe, so you can type in SQUIDGROW here. And be able to swap SQUIDGROW. So this is really cool. So once you, of course, connect your wallet, you can allocate how much BNB or whatever token you want to swap into SQUIDGROW, for instance. And we have this burn toggle. So this is basically how our burn mechanism works. So if I wanted to, spend half a BNB on SQUIDGROW, you can see how many tokens you'll get and what that value will look like. And then you have this burn toggle, which charges basically 0.5% on top of PancakeSwap's fee, which goes towards burning SQUIDGROW. So that's really cool. So if you're somebody in like the SQUIDGROW community and you want to help make this, the token more scarce and you want to help burn some tokens, then this is the way to do it. We did leave it open-ended where, if somebody just, pinching pennies or absolutely didn't want to, use the burn feature, then you could turn that toggle off. And then it won't charge you that extra fee or burn the token. So that was something that we put in place. We don't necessarily receive any fees from that. It's just for the burn mechanism. But we also wanted to grow our user base. So if somebody wanted to use the swap, they can still turn that toggle off. So that's really
it's a really cool function. I see that it's kind of split between burning the asset that you're trading with and also burning a bit of burn. So, it's in the name. You're burning everything around you.
Yeah, exactly. So we kind of benefit a little bit as a beneficiary of the swaps. So our goal long term is to get with other project owners, make partnerships with them, introduce the swap to their community so that they're burning tokens. And as they're burning tokens, it burns a little bit of ours as well.
Oh, no doubt. And I'm sure when a lot more communities hear about Burnswap, they'll be actively going towards it if they don't want to include some sort of burn function in their contract. It's a great way around it.
Yeah. And what's really cool is, these tokens, like we mentioned, SQUIDGROW is already on PancakeSwap. So it's not like we have to go to a project owner and say, hey, give me your liquidity and put it here, because there's already some trust factor with PancakeSwap. So just by being on PancakeSwap, we can approach other project owners and say, hey, I already have access to trade your token. You just have to direct your community to Burnswap to do it. So that's really cool because it's a low risk for them. It's kind of like a win-win. It doesn't hurt them, and it just adds a benefit.
Yeah, it's really cool. I really like this. In terms of the bridge, would you be able to go into some details about that? Obviously, you're currently, you're EVM compatible currently with the Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum as well. Now, just a quick question before you go into it. Are you looking at other chains into the future as well, or will you be staying kind of with the Binance and ETH side of things?
Yeah, it's definitely something that we've talked about. We'd love to be able to get onto some other chains. We felt like we had to start with these two because they're kind of like the the top two,
the big boys. Yeah,
exactly. Especially Ethereum. It's costly to transact on Ethereum, and most of our audience right now is on BSC. So we wanted to get on Ethereum to have that flexibility. It's different audience for different type of investing. Ethereum is really good for these meme tokens right now. So we want to be able to approach those projects as well. But yeah, we do have plans to get on other chains. There's a couple that are popular that we've talked about. Arbitrum is one, which uses ETH as a gas fee, but is a lot less expensive to transact. So that's attractive. And then you have Pulse Chain that just came out, which is popular with a lot of people in our community. Which is popular as well. So we've been trying to, see if there's opportunities to get over there as well. So those are definitely things that we are looking to expand on as we, get everything running smoothly with what we have here, and then we can look to forward to expansion from there.
Yeah, it's really good to be looking at a project here in Burnswap, and there not only is there already so much achieved, but there's so much potential going into the future to really develop on what you already have. And I was looking here. I read something in the white paper to do with the bridge. It says utilizing the auto market maker algorithm. Would you be able to explain what that refers to?
I think that was more referring to like the actual your AMM, which is like Uniswap or PancakeSwap. It kind of utilizes the algorithm to determine like price impact and the cost of the token as the ratio between like Ethereum and the Burns token as it goes up and down.
I get you. Yeah. I get you. And as well, to do with the charts. What's to do with charts? I saw a bit about charts in the white paper too, and sounds pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, so that's something. Let me see. Trying to think where it would be. If I have a sneak peek of it. Let me see if I can find it. But yeah, we are. That's something that we're actually working on is the charts. I got this funny chat going on. Let's see. Staking. This was with my UI. The guy who did the UI. Charts is something that we wanted to add to our interface, and we're looking to integrate that. So if you're familiar with TradingView, then you'll be familiar with like the TradingView charts, but we'll have it in a pretty cool, like a pretty cool DApp where you can see it on the platform here. So I'm trying to see if I can find it.
Yeah, I can see that it has like where the tab would be up here.
You can see charts there. I was trying to find it. I had an image of it. I just can't find it at the moment. But
if you can't find it, it's all good. It's not the biggest deal in the world. That's just a bit
but
of something else to release to the community.
It'll look something. Yeah, it'll look something similar to like a Dex Tools or a Dex Screener. So you'll actually be able to not only trade tokens on there, but see the charts while you're trading. So that's just it kind of goes back to what we talked about, at the beginning of the call was being like an all-in-one dashboard. So we wanted to add different features for investors that will keep them on the platform. So you could swap, you could bridge, you could look at your chart, see what plays you're into, all from one spot.
Yeah, it's awesome having a little kind of swap widget right beside the chart there for you. Just because as you're looking at something, you could just connect the wallet, jump straight in, and there you go without moving too far. Okay, so you have a growth fund. Would you be able to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so our growth fund is like our pretty much like our treasury. So one way that we're able to make some fees off of the platform to continue to like develop and market is through the growth fund, through the staking protocol. So like that tax that we mentioned, where you're entering and exiting, a portion of that on the exit goes towards our growth fund, which allows us to invest in other projects or creating projects of our own and continuing to develop what we have. So something kind of like the value coin, what I mentioned, is something that we came out with that particularly added some value to the Burns token. So that was cool. It was it's a reflection token, and with buys and sells, the holders get reflections, and a portion of the tax goes to buying and burning the Burns token. That was something that we did that was kind of unique to showcase the swap, but also give people another like income earning opportunity with the new token. But also saves us on some marketing, because you could go through a lot of marketing dollars really quick doing influencer videos and tweets and AMAs, and it adds up quickly. And so sometimes community doesn't necessarily know what those things are going on behind the scenes, but if we have the talent to be able to come out with a token that gives people an earning opportunity, and it also helps cross market us. Those are some of the things that we are doing to kind of take advantage of our skill sets.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's definitely very important because, a lot of projects, one of the main issues is they don't have funds to do anything. So they kind of whittle away and die. So it's really kind of pushing that to the side. It's great to see that you have things in place where you can keep the funds going and keep pushing the project and the development and everything to do with it. Just another thing here, the governance. So just by holding Burns token, basically people can vote maybe in future directions for Burns.
Yeah, so that's something that we haven't done yet, but that is, open possibility, because, we like to include the community and get feedback. They're going to give you feedback regardless, right?
Yeah, but, that's a fact. Yeah.
But sometimes we could hold like community votes if we want to go a certain direction, or if we're thinking about doing, like something in particular, coming out with a new tool or something. We can kind of use the Burns token as a governance token where, people who hold it can host a vote on, what direction we should move in next. So that's something that is a possibility for us to use in the future. It's still very early, so we haven't had that the opportunity to come up yet. But like we talked about, but we talked about like the EVM chains, maybe getting on a new chain and deciding, hey, which chain does the community want us to see next?
Yeah,
that's one of those ways we can use the Burns token as a governance feature as well.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea. You don't want to be going after in some random chain and everyone's like, well, what are you doing there? Like, so that's pretty good.
That's exactly right. Sometimes it could, we might think we might have the best idea ever, right? But the community says, I'm not going to use that. So so that kind of helps us.
It's true. It's true, because you do kind of get stuck in a little bit of a bubble sometimes within a team. And it's always good to hear what all your different investors think about something. So I always love to see that, where you can get the community involved, say in future decisions about things like that. That's really awesome. Another thing, just in terms of future development. So I read something about cross-chain farming, liquidity pools. So are these kind of future utilities that you'll be implementing? Or what's the story with that?
Yeah, so that's something that we're very interested in right now. So we released with the swap, the bridge, the staking. We're going to be releasing the chart soon. So these are all tools that we had in mind, but we're very interested in like hosting our own liquidity pools. So this is something that we are talking about, right now as well, figuring how we can integrate that, and then kind of offering this as a service to other projects as well. We've already started the process. We've got a few, I think maybe 4 or 5 different projects who we basically said, kind of made it a little bit more official. Say, hey, we're going to be swap partners. We'll direct our community to your swap. And one thing that we can offer them is a way to keep their community engaged through like farming and liquidity pools. Oftentimes with like these big exchanges like PancakeSwap, you can't really get any farms on there unless you're making some crazy noise to get their attention. So there's not like a lot of support there in that regard. So what we could do is offer farms to other projects, and we can say, hey, now you can incentivize your community to host, to provide liquidity to your token, and then reward by providing liquidity, they get, some tokens. So we can, provide that platform for other projects to host different liquidity farms, which is beneficial for the project owner because they're getting more liquidity towards their token, but also benefit to the investors because they can create some, passive income through staking. So that's something that we're kind of talking about right now on, next steps on things that we want to develop.
Yeah, no, that all sounds really, really good. I think I've kind of covered everything that I went through myself. I guess if there's anything else you want to discuss, you can work away and say it now. If you have any other things on your mind.
Yeah, for sure. Just kind of going through a little bit, can maybe showcase how things work. We're at the bridge function feature here, which is really neat. The way that it works is you swap your BNB or your Burns token on the BNB side, or vice versa on the ETH side. And what happens is it burns your token on one side of the chain, and then on the other side it mints the token, which you can stake or trade on either side. We also had this pretty cool feature where you can adjust how much Burns token you want to sell for gas fees on the other side. So that's something interesting about the bridge. This is what the staking looks like. I think I actually have one stake myself, but you have your Burns token. You can decide how many Burns tokens you want to stake and the duration of time that you want to stake. You have X Burns was something that doesn't apply to everybody, but we did acquire a few or a couple of different platforms, projects that weren't doing really well, but we got with their project owners and came up with a deal to be able to provide their community some benefits in tokens. So that was X Burns. And then we have the boost that we talked about with the NFT. So if you have an NFT in your wallet, you can use that boost, which is really neat. And after you make your stake, it looks like this. So you can see here, I have a couple stakes. I had a small test one. I got in.
That's a nice one right there.
Yeah, not a whole lot. Like this token is, this is probably less than $1.
Yeah.
But it kind of shows you a little bit what it looks like. This was a bigger stake here. You can see I had to use a boost, so I got a lot lower APR, but not too bad still. I did it for 90 days, and I still have
292 is pretty good. That's still pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
So that's kind of what that looks like. The referral here we have here, you can copy the link and share it with your friends. So that's what it looks like as well. So that's kind of what the DApp looks like. I guess I could briefly mention we did come out with a new token just last week called Value. So this is something, if you come into the Telegram chat and you see the buy bot for Value going off, this is what this is about. This was a kind of like a funny play on words. because a lot of people, think that memes don't have any value, right? So it's like one that actually provides value to our ecosystem. So that
Yeah.
was pretty cool. This is like a reflections token. So again, by just buying and holding the token, you can receive reflections. You see, we integrated our swap here on the page here. So again, we were using this to leverage to showcase our swap. And actually today we actually just came out with the ROI DApp for it. So this is actually pretty cool. So now this token actually has some more utility. You can use it through a ROI DApp that earns you 2% a day on the token. So you can actually come in here and stake your value tokens and earn some daily rewards. So that's pretty cool as well.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So those are some of the things that we've been working on as a team. We've been so much has gone on, so many updates in the last few weeks. But we're still very early in the project. So I'm excited to now start, giving our attention towards reaching out to other project owners. I had one today that I'll be probably announcing maybe tomorrow that actually reached out to me, was interested in, getting onto the swap. So we're starting to get some traction. Yeah, starting to get some traction there.
Let us know too as well, and we'll post all about that as well over in Krypton Calls. That's awesome. Because I know the development stages, it can be quite it can be quite time consuming and everything. But it's great to see that you've got so far already, and you can start focusing a bit more on other things, but also still with the development in mind. It's great to see that you've kind of got to the point you're at the moment. Yeah, I really like Burnswap. I think you kind of offer a lot, and you definitely have a very bright future as well. What are we looking at for the next bull run? Probably mid 2024. I think that is going to really coincide well with E.
Yeah, I think people who are developing right now and gathering communities right now, kind of in preparation for that bull run, will be very successful. It's challenging right now. You put a community together. Of course, people want to get early wins, early gains. But it doesn't always happen that way. But you build a strong community, you build utility, which is what we really wanted to focus on with Burnswap. Something that not necessarily just benefits us, but it is helpful for other communities as well. And, brings communities together. And then hopefully, for that next bull run, things really, shine and show its true potential.
Absolutely. Do you have anything else to say?
I think that's it, man. Just come on over. You can visit us at burnswap.finance. Follow us on our socials. We're really active in the Telegram. If you have questions, or you can always come to the Telegram. Myself as well as the admins, we're very active in the chat. So I just encourage people to come over to the Telegram. Do your research on the project, ask questions. Invest. And enjoy the utilities.
That's awesome, man. Absolutely love it. And just in referring to the links for the websites and the Telegram and all that, we will be including those in the description. And I believe we're posting this both on SQUIDGROW Joe's YouTube channel and on our Krypton Calls channel. So hopefully we get a nice bit of reach for you for that, and get some more traffic into Burnswap. But this has been absolutely fantastic. Love this interview with you. It's great to get updates on everything that you're up to. So really appreciate you coming on, Matt.
Yeah, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to give this update as well. And glad we got to do this one together this time. I know last time we didn't get a chance to chat it up. We did one with Sean, but glad we got that.
Absolutely, yeah. Because it was annoying I couldn't do that one, but here it's great. We got to do it at probably almost a better stage as well, where things are really locked into place. So I'm delighted I could come on today and have you as well.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll probably call it a day there. So from both SQUIDGROW Joe and Krypton Calls, that was Burnswap. Definitely check them out. Check the links in the description. They're definitely going to be a massive powerhouse going into the future. Appreciate you listening, and good luck. you.